For my Water Assassin build, I decided to focus on Fatal Strike damage, stealth, ice attack power, chill accumulation on enemies, and morale rank points gain. I'm using the Assassin armor set that gives me plus 14.5% additional damage on Fatal Strike and plus 72 stealth. On top of that, I used accessories that boost my Fatal Strike damage and other useful stats that I decided to focus on. The Chivalrous Swordsman Dual Swords is the perfect weapon for this kind of build, because this weapon grants you a damage bonus if you're using a light armor, and the Assassin armor set is a light armor. Speaking about the Divine Beast, I equipped Baise, because this particular water phase beast grants you an additional 4.6% Fatal Strike damage and minus 2.6% spirit consumption on deflection and water phase spells. Speaking about the spells, I'm using Unseeable Form that grants you invisibility for a short period of time, and in order to access this spell you need to get your morale up to 12, and this is one of the reasons why I'm boosting my morale rank points gain. Then I'm using Damage Amplification, of course, Fire Phase spell, viable since the beginning of the stage, because you just need 3 morale points in order to activate it. And just keep in mind that as long as this buff is active, you're gonna be more vulnerable. The third spell is Ice Weapon, and this is the main reason why I focused on chill accumulation on enemies, so that the status effect can kick in as soon as possible when I use this spell. Also because this buff doesn't last long. The fourth spell is Aqua Blink. Now, Aqua Blink is basically teleportation, and I use it whenever I want to close in on an enemy or evade from a tough situation. Among the 4 spells that I have equipped, I feel this is the least necessary, so it's just optional. Feel free to replace it with whatever you find more useful and suits your playstyle better. This build is very efficient when it comes to single target assassination. You can basically one-shot every single enemy in the stage, and this is the second reason why I went for morale rank points gain, because you wanna be at an advantage when you go for a Fatal Strike. I barely fight any enemies during the stage. I just run full speed from backstab to backstab, because keep in mind that having high stealth attribute allows you to literally run full speed when you go for assassination. You don't have to walk slowly, you don't have to guard spam just not to be detected. You can rush in full speed, backstab onto the next one. It's not a broken build by any means, it's just a stealth build, so it's very efficient taking down enemies without breaking a sweat, but you're still gonna need to be strategic enough, take full advantage of the level design and the stealth mechanics. This build does not melt bosses. You can still access Ominous Chill though, that is one of the most powerful spells in the game, but the main purpose of this build is to get through the stage without breaking a sweat. One more thing, don't look down on your ranged weapons. because since you invest a lot of points in your water virtue, you can take full advantage of that and get rid of the smallest enemies with your bow or crossbow. Another perk that I found very useful is enemy detection. If you want to play stealth, you want to avoid getting jumped on by a group of enemies, and enemy detection can come in handy. And that pretty much wraps it up. Hope you find this video useful, and the next one will be the upgraded version of this build with New Game Plus gear, 5 stars and grey set. It's gonna be a Black Emperor hybrid build that is pretty much the same, just does everything a bit better.